Just press record for the first time ever on the Scott Walker podcast. I am Scott Walker. I'll be the host for this podcast. The biggest thing I'm wanting everybody out there to understand is why I'm doing this. It's easy to just want. It is easy just to be out there and think, oh, I could do this or I should do this. But that's not the kind of person I am. That's not what I believe people need. I believe everybody should be out there doing what you want to do. You know, I want to give everybody perspective from an average Joe's life. Somebody that understands what normal people are doing, not necessarily the perspective of Green Berets, Navy SEALs. Even those guys are awesome. Those guys are my heroes and my inspiration and the people that I look up to, without a doubt. Been listening to Joe Rogan podcast a lot. A lot of great information comes out of that place. That is probably one of my favorite podcasts. Been listening to the Jocko podcast quite a bit. And that makes you want to just go get stuff done. Like, I feel like I could run through a building because I have the power to do it after I watch that podcast and listen to that podcast. But I like to have a little fun too. So another inspiration from that is definitely Pat McAfee from the Pat McAfee Show. Holler to Barstool Sports. They definitely got a good thing going. But getting back to this has always been something I wanted to do. This is something that I feel like I need to do. I think it's going to be therapeutic for me. So we'll get to a little background and everything in a little bit, but this is the first ever. I really want you guys to enjoy this. I really want you guys to be a part of this. This is something new that I'm starting, so it's probably going to be a lot of family and friends that check it out. Want to just give you guys something to help you out, because you all have helped me out in one way or another, whether you know it or not. You go through the day and you run into people, and sometimes all you need is that handshake, that smile, whatever. So I'm definitely a proponent for being a good person, and I thank you all for who have ever interacted with me and who are listening to this now for helping me get to where I am, and hopefully helping me get to where I want to be. So yeah, this is just going to be normal guys talking, a lot of it is going to definitely be filmed in my kitchen because that's where I'm starting out. It's going to be a whole process of starting out. Where it goes, I don't know. I mean, it could go someplace awesome. It could go places that I don't want it to go. It's all going to be part of the journey, and hopefully you guys are along for the ride. Feel like I'm saying way too many times on this. I'm obviously very nervous. Got a lot of sweat going on. There it goes again. So let's go straight into background. All right, so background. Let's do kind of a quick overview of who I am, why I'm doing this, all that fun stuff. So, childhood, kind of pretty graphic, kind of jacked up, whatever, no excuses. I'm sure I'll get more into that later, not really worried about it right now. No excuse there. Everybody has a story. Everybody has adversity to overcome. No different. Teenager, more issues. Traveled a lot. I spent a lot of time with my uncle up in Seattle. Got to see Europe. Just go stay with my brother who was stationed in Germany. Got to see a lot of the world, and that really helped me, kind of showed me different cultures, made me really want to see what else is out there, which was really cool and helped out a lot. I went to college, tried to go to college in Chico, Had a lot of issues, ran into a lot of trouble there. Had MIPs, wet and reckless, got in a lot of fights. Wasn't really the fun adventure and learning experience that I thought it was going to be. After that, I moved back to Sacramento, worked at Esquire Bar and Grill. Pretty uneventful, just a lot of being stupid, doing things I probably shouldn't have done, drinking a lot, doing things that just led to more trouble. But at Esquire, it was kind of crazy because I'd wait on a lot of politicians. Like, I'd wait on Arnold Schwarzenegger, all the California senators, Dianne Feinstein. You kind of see a different underbelly, like a weird back scene view to politics that is in a lot of ways kind of ugly. You hear a lot of things that you probably shouldn't be hearing, and it gives you kind of a different perspective. And it was there when I really got tired of everybody just talking about a war that was going on and decided I wanted to be a part of it. So I decided I was going to join the Army at 20 years old, and it was during my time waiting to join the Army. I was actually signed up, but before I even went to boot camp or anything, I actually was lucky enough to meet my beautiful wife, who showed me what family really was and continues to see good in people and me even when I didn't see it. So that was definitely a huge part of my life and something that I will be forever indebted to her for. But going back to the Army, I joined the Army as a 19 Delta Cavalry Scout because I wanted to be a modern day warrior. I wanted to be something, I wanted to be badass, but I also wanted to be somebody that made a difference. And I personally, it takes all levels on the battlefield. It takes everybody from the comms guy to the mechanics working on Humvees. It takes everybody. But I wanted to be the guy behind the gun. And that's why I decided to join as a 19 Delta. Definitely an eye-opening experience. I was deployed for 18 months. During that time, my son Riley was born, actually when I was in Kuwait. So I saw him when he was 3 months old, and then I saw him again when he was 18 months old, which was kind of crazy. I missed out on a lot, and is probably one of the biggest reasons I got out. That was my personal choice. I think about it a lot. It's not something easy to deal with. It's not something easy to talk about, but I'm sure I'll get into that. So I decided to get out to try and, be this family guy, be the family man, and it didn't quite go down like that. I came back with a lot of issues, pretty much a buttload of issues. I'm the type of guy that definitely likes chaos. So much so that even when I came back and there wasn't enough chaos, I do a lot to create it. Everything's good. Everything's normal. Everything's calm. Everybody's having a good time. I almost get itchy and am uncomfortable with that and have to do something to fuck up. Have to do something just to jack everything up and make sure that there's something uneasy, something not right, something to fix, something to troubleshoot, something to do just because it's how my brain works, which I'm sure we'll get into it a lot more, is a lot of different psychological issues, which is never a good thing. It's hard to be a good person and just want to fuck shit up all the time. But now I'm just working a 9 to 5, normal guy, just trying to support a family, do everything. And then I got hooked on the Jocko podcast, the Joe Rogan podcast, and really motivated and trying to be the better me and, trying to live my best life. And during that time, I was wanting to go back to making a difference because that's where I believe I was at the core. So I thought making a difference in my community would help out. Like, I could be a California Highway Patrol officer. Went through all the testing, got to the psych, didn't pan out. And it was really here where I was just frustrated, just angry, just not understanding why, not understanding, my heart's in the right place. I have great experience for something like this. I know when and when not to pull the trigger, but it didn't work out. And to steal the words of the Jocko Motivation speech, good. Maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe I needed to learn more. Maybe that's not what I was supposed to do. So right now, I'm in the process of earning a college degree, which I probably wouldn't have been doing if I got accepted into the academy and was on my way to being a cop. So I'm definitely the product of a Joe Rogan and Jocko motivational speeches doing it. Reggie Oshie, I'm looking up things on how to create a successful podcast, and Reggie Oshie is awesome because he's like, just do it. Some people are going to like it, some people aren't going to like it. So what? Put something out there and maybe you'll reach somebody. So if this reaches one person and helps them out in one way or another, if I have a conversation with somebody else and it is beneficial to them in some way or some manner, then this is worth it. And I really want that to be my focus. I want it to be interesting conversations. And in the process of doing this, it got me really thinking about how much we can learn from conversations. And the definition of a conversation is the informal exchange of ideas by spoken words. And that's very powerful to me, because what is an idea? An idea is something that is out there. It starts in our brain. Then if we speak it, it becomes real. We give it life. We give that idea true meaning. And I know for me personally, I've been talking about doing this podcast, but as soon as I started talking about it, I was like, oh shit, it's real. Now I'm probably going to have to do it because I gave it some substance. I made it real. And now granted, I'm in my fucking kitchen, but I'm really trying. I really am excited. I'm really wanting to put out some good conversations with some people that hopefully will add some meaning to life, give some people some perspective, some good entertainment, some positive entertainment. A big thing for me too is that this is therapeutic as hell, because before I joined the Army, I was kind of had the gift of gab. Loved to talk about myself, other people, everything, and would have no problem having conversations. Got out and started stressing, hardcore, like to the point to where it was an exchange at a gas station would be very difficult for me, to where it was, are they reaching for something? Are they, what's really going on? What's happening? And in analyzing the person behind the counter's movements, I would totally lose track of what they were asking, and I couldn't even communicate to them what I wanted, or whether it was a can of Copenhagen, pack of cigarettes, or where's the bathroom. I would just not really lock up, but be so in tune with their movements and what was happening that I wouldn't be able to communicate. And I've really lost touch with my ability to communicate. So hopefully by doing this, I get some of that back. It'll be very therapeutic for me. And one of the biggest reasons why I'm doing it is because I'm not good at it. And I don't like not being good at whatever it is I'm trying to do. That is something that drives me. I'm a very competitive person. It's just something I need to do. If I'm fucked up at something, I need to fix it, get it right, and make it work. I don't want to half-ass anything. And it's just hard to even gather the words to say what that feeling really was like, what it means, and how hard it is to overcome. So if there's other people out there, get a hold of me. We'll get through it together. It's not something that is easy to even talk about. I've been through a ton of counseling, had a ton of great conversations that really helped, and now I'm here trying to, through spoken word, and create these ideas and give them substance to make them real. So I'm definitely going back to Jocko and Joe Rogan, trying to just do it, trying to get rid of all the, oh, I have a family, oh, I am busy, oh, I'm got all this going on, and just actually doing it because this is what I wanted to do. So here we are. And so hopefully you guys stay for this journey. Like I said, I'm starting in my kitchen. Where it's going to go, I don't know, but that's part of the excitement too. So hopefully you guys are here and along on the ride and totally get what I'm trying to put out there. I'd love to have some great guests on here, have some good conversations, and see what we can learn from each other. And, people are going to hate, so what? I don't really care. You can hate on it all you want. I'm trying, but if you want to give me some constructive criticism, I'm all about it. How can I get this better? I'm all about that. Give me some ideas. What do you want to hear about? What I know I have kind of a cool lineup that I want going on. I know I have a couple buddies that have helped me out straight from the get-go with this idea. Like as soon as they heard I was doing it, they did things like loan me equipment just so I could get going, and I am so appreciative of that. And once again, though, they made me get rid of my excuses, so it's kind of difficult to have any anymore, and I am very appreciative to all those guys for that. Hopefully one of those guys comes on and he talks about a business he's starting. We get into some technology talk, and all of that stuff, and have a good time with it. That's what it's really all about. I hope you guys stay on this ride with me and see where it goes. So that's my background. That's what I'm all about. I really hope that this ends up going someplace where we can have it go. Where I'd love to be able to have conversations with anybody, the Green Berets, the Navy SEALs, the motivating speakers, the Joe Rogans, the Jockos. I cannot thank you guys enough because you are giving people like me inspiration. You are giving people like me hope. You are definitely making a difference in lives, and I appreciate it. Hopefully I'm a product of that and can, return the favor. It's one thing to sit here and listen and just be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, but let's start making those ideas realities. Let's give back where we can. Let's be positive. Sometimes all it takes is a smile, walking down the street, smiling at somebody, making them feel good. Bam, they're going to turn around and do that same thing to another person. Being positive can be contagious, just like being negative. Either one is going to spread. So what type of person do you want to be? I was a negative person for a really long time, and I didn't really hate on people for what they had, just hated on people because I just didn't like other people, really. But it was kind of a self-reflection. I hated myself, so I mirrored that to everybody that I came across, and it just was a very toxic environment to create. So I'm really trying to pull myself out of that, really trying to do everything I can to be positive. I'm, trying to do the nutrition, trying to do the workouts. I know trying is that shitty word. It needs to just be doing rather than trying. But we're getting there. We're getting there, and it's a process. So everybody out there, get on board with me. Let's do this together. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for all the blue collars, all the white collars, any people that are going through the struggle, anybody that listened, anybody I'm forgetting, anybody I've ever interacted with and in the future will. Thank you guys all for listening. This is the beginning of the Scott Walker podcast. Take it easy.